You're listening to the Everything Went Black podcast.
Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. Welcome back, my brother, Ralph Schmidt. Ralph and I have a long-standing friendship, better than 2 decades, and lots of history between us. And it's been a while since Ralph has been on the podcast, so it's great to catch up and have you guys join in. As you all know, Ralph is a returning guest / co-host at times on Everything Went Black, as well as one of the key members of Ultha, a great band who released a great album, A Light So Dim. And if you guys all pay attention, I guarantee you that record will have another appearance later on in the year when it comes down to doing our top 10 records of the year. If you're listening to this, you definitely should be listening to the other members of the Horsemen of the Podcasting Apocalypse, a cabal of content creators at war with mediocrity. Kicking everything off every other Monday, we got Brandon Legion's Horror Wolf 666. Up next on Tuesday, Jackie Schmidt brings you Into the Necrosphere. Wednesday, of course, is Everything Went Black, as well as Iblis Manifestations, brought to you by Cheyenne of the band Trivax. Thursday is Necro Thursday, where the Necromaniacs horror podcast comes at you, as well as Day 1 of Soul Knox, brought to you by Carl Hikara. Friday, Spitball Media drops, an irreverent pop culture podcast. Saturday is a day off, so enjoy yourself up here in the North Hemisphere. It's summer, so make sure you wear your sunscreen and stay hydrated, because Sunday, Carl Hikara returns with Day 2 of Soul Knox. And just as a reminder, Carl and I are wrapping up our collaboration known as Darkness Weaves, where we discuss the work of Carl Edward Wagner. I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the show. It means a lot to me. This is primarily a labor of love. If you want to further support the podcast, you can join the Everything Went Black Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you get bonus content. For $5 a month, you get bonus content plus early access to the regular shows. And for $25 a month, you can become a sponsor. Ralph, welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while, man.
Time slips away sometimes, man. And it's like, everyone gets busy, and it's like, I'm really, really happy to have you back on the show again.
Yeah, it was long overdue, but yeah, man, a lot of shit happened, and I mean, both our lives, and yeah, I mean, we had these phases. You remember, like in the glorious days of the pandemic, when we had like a lot of time to talk.
Yeah,
and I mean, now, I mean, look at you. You're married, doing grown-up shit, and yeah, I'm also super busy, and yeah, it's just like sometimes that happens. But the good thing is, I know, like you and I both know by this now. I mean, how long have we been friends? It's like more than a decade, it's close to 2 decades. Yeah,
way more than a decade, man.
Yeah,
we're over 2 decades of friendship, man.
Yeah, and that's like, and we both know like nothing will change even if we don't talk regularly. But I also like kind of stepped away from a lot of things, like where I don't like actually have a lot of contact because I mean, I haven't told you yet, but I'm not going to work at the moment. I'm written out of work, and I will not go back to work until the new year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So the entire year you're off. Okay.
Yeah. I have like, I mean, last time we spoke, I think we were like in the preparations of releasing the Ultha record.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did like a bunch of podcasts about that. And I mean, yeah, everybody knows now, like, I mean, like, I guess like a lot of people know that this record was like born out of like me stepping out of my, comfort zone of being all miserable and trying to get better.
Yeah.
And So that like a lot of things changed, and I have like the record came out, it was super successful and people loved it, and we did the tour and a lot of things are good, and I have a healthy relationship now and I'm super happy with that. But I felt like something is still off, and then we went on that tour with Yellow Eyes in April. And I went on that tour and I was already like sick because for I had like this weird ass cough and problems like getting proper oxygen in,
Oh,
and I
wow.
felt drained all the time. But like in typical fashion that my father installed the trauma in me that you have to function or you're a wimp. I went through school like a trooper, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like always coughing and not feeling well. And I'm like, yeah, well, like I have 2 weeks off around Easter, and the tour will be in the second week, so I have 1 week to recover. It should be fine. It ended up not being,
Oh, no.
and so we played. I mean, the release of the album was a secret, so we released it on April 2nd, and then we headlined Kultefest in Münster on April 4th, which was our release show. And on the day of the show, I already felt like shit. I was like, oh man, I'm not really in shape to go on any tour right now. But I'm like, yeah, I'll push through it. Maybe like in 2 days it gets better. But then like the monitors went out, and like I had to sing songs that I hadn't
Oh, yeah.
sung before.
Right.
Couldn't really hear myself, so pressed too hard. So, you know, when that happened, like I blew up my voice, and I thankfully went to see a specialist for throat and voice and everything beforehand, and she gave me antibiotics, and she's like, only like if push comes to shove and you lose your voice, please use them. I ended up using them on the second day of the tour.
Oh, no.
And so like I had to push through the tour being sick as like as a horse, you know, and you know, like being on the tour with a band you absolutely love, getting to do like a release tour of your new album, and people are going crazy, and we had great shows. But I couldn't really enjoy it because like most of the time I sat in the van and didn't talk. I just like, you know, I had like cough drops in, tried to keep calm, and I'm like, oh man, this sucks. And you know, like my mental health like on that tour also deteriorated because of that. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, like yeah, I should have stopped working before and just like call in sick and then go on the tour. But then, you know, like all the trauma that I'm seeing a therapist now.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's,
I
I definitely, that's great. That's a great thing.
yeah, I did. I like started last summer, so it's pretty much a year now. And she did like a lot of good for me. And I was like, oh man, she would say like, why? Like, because my thinking was maybe I should stop doing a band so I can be better at my job.
Mm.
And you know, like everybody was like, are you insane? Yeah, like you do your job and you like working with kids, but what you actually love is like playing music. And you've got this chance that this band is still working so well. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what my brain is thinking. So, like, I did that tour, and the last show we played was in a boat in Hamburg. And yeah, I couldn't barely breathe. And then I had a panic attack, and then I had to go on stage. I'm like, this is all so fucking wrong. And then, like, yeah, I had to talk with my girlfriend on the Sunday because I was supposed to go back to school on Monday. And she's
Mm.
like, you can't go back. You need to get some time away from there. And then it's like, okay, I'll do this now. And so I went to school on Monday, told like my principal and like some colleagues, I'm like, hey, I'm going to call in sick and it's going to be a longer while because this is like this is all not right. Like I'm feeling, you know, like there was this process of a year where I started to feel better, but like my body was not doing well. And yeah, then I decided to go, and everybody was super supportive. It's my eighth week now without teaching, and it's going good. I finally accepted, you know, like I had feelings of guilt for a long time. It's like, you know, like leave everybody at work hanging, and you know, like how it is with mental health. It's like, hey, I'm actually, you know, like I can go out, I can go to the gym. You know, I watch shows, I read books. So I'm feeling okay, but like why am I not working then? And everybody was like, yeah, because mental health is also like an illness, but it's just not like having a broken leg where everybody could see like, oh, you have a broken leg. So it took me some time now to accept, like, without like having a feeling of guilt. It's like, no, I'm actually ill, and it's good that I stay home. And I'm doing a lot for myself, like taking a lot of time off, doing like days without any social media or my phone, cooking better food, doing more sports, going out into nature a lot, and it helps, but it will take a longer time. And my doctor says, like, hey, you pushed it away for 15 to 20 years, so don't expect this to go well in within 6 weeks.
Wow, that's fantastic, man. I mean, as far as like you know, not working and having resources to live, like is that the government that does that? Is there like
Oh
some
yeah,
yeah.
I'm like there. This is like actually the good thing about this job. Um, I don't know, like tenure of the state, I think it's what it's called. So
Oh,
I'm employed by the government, and so what I have, I don't have a work contract, but I have like a certificate, which is like something more special. And the thing is, like, there are teachers that are just like hired people, and they get like 600 to 800 euros less a month for doing the same job. It's just because I am one of the people that has like the status of a tenured, which some states still have. Um, I get more money and I can't be fired and I have better health insurance. So the good thing is, at some point they will send you to a government doctor to check on you.
okay.
But a colleague of mine, she was out with burnout as well and depression, and she was out for 1.5 years, and they never sent her to any doctor, and she got her full money for the whole like duration of that time.
Wow.
So yeah, so like regular workers can, I think they can do it, and after I think 6 weeks, they will get only 60% of the money, and the longer it takes, the less money you will get. But with me as a tenure at the state, it is like my money is just coming in regularly. So I'm blessed when it comes to this, at least. Yeah.
Well, that's a great resource to have then. And I think that you
Yeah.
should taking full advantage of that is outstanding, honestly. I mean, so few people have that opportunity and it really is, people nowadays I think are paying more attention to mental health, but
Yeah.
the old, obviously I'm a little bit older than a lot of the people out there listening to this. So it's like when I was growing up, that was completely not anything anyone ever talked about. Like my parents' generation didn't believe in any of these things. And like I would say about 60% of the people in my generation still don't believe in these things.
Yeah.
But it really is it's a factor, man. And mental health also affects your physical well-being too. I mean, I'm learning that too myself over the last like 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely the same thing here. My dad, like he was like the worker that's like from the generation, like my grandparents were like fought in the Second World War, and my father got taught like, yeah, mental health is an illusion, you're just too weak. And my
Yeah.
dad inherited this mentality and he forced it onto me. So for years he was like, yeah, you're just too soft.
Mm. Uh, yeah. And then it just leads to a generation of unhappy people. But yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're on the road to doing better mentally. That's important, man.
Yeah, and it's also affecting my physicality, like, and
Yeah.
I thought like for a long while, like I thought like I really read up on everything and was in the know, but now seeing, I mean, the thing is, my doctor said like it gets worse before it gets better.
Mm.
So like with the time away from school and where I was like, hey, I should actually be relaxed and everything, like my body completely like went apeshit berserk, like I had like the weirdest pains and
Yeah.
like panic in my sleep and shit that usually worked. And he's like, yeah, your body just like never allowed this to happen, and now he has time to recover, so it will take some time. And yeah, that's what I decided to do now. It's like, okay, I have something to fight for. I have something to do. I don't want to feel like shit all the time. And I always wanted to be like wanted to get healthier and everything, but it never worked because
Mm.
I always compensated everything with sugar or, like I'm stressed out, so I eat more. And now I finally see like, oh man, if I have time, if I'm well rested, and like even though I don't get a lot of sleep at night sometimes, I can just like take a nap for 15 minutes whenever I want to. I can go to the gym without being tired and everything. And voila, all of a sudden I feel better and it's already showing. And if I had like take actual time now to fully recover, I believe that like in the end, I will come out of it feeling actually way better. And that's my goal right now.
Sleep is huge, dude. And it's like, my whole life I was like, didn't sleep. I was like 4 or 5 hours
Yeah.
a night. I just thought I could power through everything. And recently in the last year, I got a couple of nights where I got actually 8 hours of sleep. And I was like, man,
Mm,
I feel like a new, completely different, man. And
mm,
and that's important, dude. And as goes on, and we're getting older, it's like I'm starting to realize that sleep is so necessary. So I try to go lights out relatively early every night, and I don't stay asleep though. That's the other problem.
mm,
But as you know, like we talked about, I've been under an incredible amount of stress recently,
mm,
and yes, that rolls into your body and your physicality and like pains and but my back went out like a few months ago and I wasn't able
mm.
to train and like depression and like all these things are all interconnected. So it's like you got to have both things on point and to actually thrive in life, and
Yeah.
and people so often just neglect the mental part of it.
Yeah. And I did for a long time because I mean, the big problem was, like I said before, it's like I didn't attribute any worth to myself because I always like heard, you're not the guy that I want, you're not wanted. That's what when my father always showed me. That's what like people showed me is like you're not like you have to struggle to be accepted, but you're never the one that we actually want. And
Yeah.
like that was like played part in the rejection part if like fell in love with someone and all that shit. So like at some point I just decided, well, I'll do everything for everyone else. Like whenever someone had a problem, I'd be the one sitting in the car late at night driving there to help the person. In school, I tried to save all the kids that were like from like where the parents got a divorce and whatnot. But at some point I was like, why do I feel like shit all the time when I'm doing so much good? It's like, yeah, because I don't take care of myself that well.
Yeah.
And that's what I came to realize. And yeah, it's like I have a good support system now, especially my girlfriend is like really like saying, "Hey, I would love to see you more often, but I know that you need your time alone right now and everything." And she's been super supportive. Danny has been super supportive and also my band and like I finally I listen to more people in my surrounding that I trust, which I hadn't done in a long time.
Right.
So yeah, I think everything's getting a bit better now. Yeah.
Oh, also, thank you for getting the Ultha record to me,
Oh,
the vinyl, because
yeah.
we had to, like smuggle it into the States. You know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah. Dude,
yeah.
it's yeah, the shipping costs everywhere are so insane. And I mean, like when we released it, it's like a lot of people were like, "Hey, I would love to order it, but it's like so fucking expensive to ship it to the States."
Well, when it came out, I went to go buy it off of the Vendetta Bandcamp, I think, or
Mm,
I tried to buy it and they wouldn't even allow me to buy it
yeah.
for shipping here to the States. So, but we had our Underground Railroad be able to get me a copy. So thank you very
Yeah.
much, man. Like I told you offline that prior to all this, like that the record is fantastic, man, and it's just it's such an accomplishment.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really, really proud of it. And yeah, it's been a lot of work getting this record done. And I mean a lot of struggle, lineup changes and everything. But yeah, the stars aligned and we've got like I mean, we're still good friends with Andy and he recorded the record,
Yeah.
so that's all cool. And that's all something I was really looking for, like like that this won't be like a breakup that sucks, but like hey, it's respectful, different opinions, different wishes for the band, different priorities. So yeah, it was like a real mature thing. And we found Tim, who also plays in Unruh, and he's a great person, and he added so much. And yeah, it was like like in my age having like this DIY band that still works to that extent and doing our fifth full-length album.
Yeah.
It's something I never thought I'd do. I mean, with Planks, I got to four, but like the fourth one already came out when Planks was no more. So I never expected this. And I mean, it has like a Light So Dim has a lot of like drastic changes in the sound and what we're doing. So I was expecting like a lot of people would be like say, I'm out now, like this sucks. But it was like only a handful of people that really said like I have no, this does nothing for me now. It's not my author anymore. But like generally it was well praised and actually like a way more new people found it and liked it.
No, it's great, man. I mean, you can never really, take those think about people when you make records. It's like I know
Yeah.
like it's a weird sort of irony that when you start caring about what people think of the music is when you sort of like the quality I think falls off.
Like but when people say like I do music just for myself, I always tend to not believe it. I mean, yes, of course I do. I write music because I want to write music and I want to like it. But of course, like I hope that there are people out there that
Yeah,
like it because that allows me to play shows and to continue doing it. Like if it would be like my home recording one man lo-fi black metal thing, I couldn't care less. But like with Ultha, I was like, yeah, I hope people like it because I want to continue playing shows. And the funny thing is like, but like in the way that we did it, I mean, it's our second album that we put out without any promotion beforehand or even like saying like, hey, there will be a new album. And the funny thing is that Neurosis did it like 3 weeks prior to us in
yeah,
the same move. And I was like, oh my God, imagine if they would have done it the same day or like a day before us. Like, no one would
yeah,
have cared for the Ultha one. Um, but like the last one we did the same way. And that was already a time when people are way too much on social media or think they need to express their opinion. But this one is like in the time that we're now, like where everybody is only on social media and thinks she or he has to say whatever they think is important to the world. And so like the record came out and it's like a 74-minute album in a time where music gets shorter on streaming platforms because of the TikTok attention span of the youth.
yeah.
And we're like, yeah, that's a statement, like maximum length. And then I was like, oh, let's see. And then the first discussion was, why is shipping so expensive? So
Oh,
like
dude.
the first stuff that I had to answer was not like, oh my God, a new author record is like, why is the shipping so expensive? It's like, yeah, because the world is fucking expensive. But yeah, if I order from this label, it's cheaper. Like, okay, I stopped commenting on that, so fuck this shit. Then the next thing is like, yeah, like what you're doing now is not what I expected, what I want. So I'm disappointed. I'm like, okay, fine. I didn't react to this, but then these people kept on like, like writing prolonged passages of like why they hate what we do now. And it's like, why the fuck would you think I care?
Mm.
Like, it's okay, tough luck you don't like it, but it's like I would still have done the same record. And the funny thing is, the most extreme reactions were by people that were super attached to Ultha. There's like some people that bought every fucking thing we did, and they're like, "Hey, do you still have this one? I need this for my collection." And they're like, I don't listen to Ultha now anymore. I'm like, really? Because this record is not your thing? You completely like throw in the garbage like everything we did before that? And it's like, what is wrong with people?
Yeah.
Um,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
life is just too short to, like I think detaching from that is
yeah,
probably a good thing to do, man, because it's just you can easily spiral once you start really paying attention to what people think. And
yeah,
I'm not saying like, I'm in that ironic place too of like, like I definitely want people to like my music, but like I don't really care if someone doesn't like us either, you know what I mean? And it's
yeah,
like and it's because at the end of the day, it's like for me personally, it's like I feel fortunate just that I was able to do what I did. It's not like I know a lot of people play in bands and they never get to make a record or they never get to go on tour. Or they don't,
yeah,
or they can't be successful in any way. And
yeah,
the fact of the matter that I was, we were able to do what we've done and continue to do, it's is a plus. And and it's like when I talk about, you making this record, it's different. And what's cool about that is like quality. You shouldn't be making the record over and over again. And
yes,
and quality and like commercial success are mutually two different things. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm not going to name names, but there's bands out there that they think about what people want to hear and they craft their music towards that.
yeah,
And like we've toured with a number of those bands.
mm,
And they are successful, yes. But I can't help myself but believe that on some level they're disappointed that they don't get to do things that they want to do. And like some of those guys are like, oh, I don't even listen to this kind of music. I listen to this.
mm,
And like they're just turning the crank on something that's like, I know that if we play, part A, part B, then there's a blast beat, then we have like a breakdown, then we have a slam part. That's going to resonate with certain people. And like the people are going to buy the record and come to the shows and buy our t-shirts.
mm,
But I listen to this. I don't really listen to this stuff, and that's when it's like, then why, that's got to be so deeply unsatisfying. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I know that you're not like that. I know that you listen to a lot of different types of music, and the music that you make is a reflection of all of the stuff that you're into, like
yeah,
music and movies, and especially movies lately. It seems like, like the
yeah, yeah,
cinematic aspect to the filmic
mm,
aspect to the music that you're making right now. And it's a reflection of all those things. It's not just like you playing like like a slam band or something like that, but you don't
mm,
listen to slam.
mm. Yeah, and it's I think it's like what it boils down to, and you're absolutely right, like with the influences you like you and I both have so many influences. And I think it is at some point crucial that you incorporate the stuff that you're actually into. Because of course I could have written another like straight up black metal record. Like even like eventually maybe Ultha will do that. Maybe we'll do a record which will be a straight up black metal record because we are interested in this at the moment. But like for the journey that I had to like writing this new album, it was such a time of change. And I was like grasping to, okay, what is really stable and what has been with me and what really gives me pleasure and joy. And these factors all like go into each and every song on that album. That's why every song is different. And I think probably it's the most authentic thing I ever did, but it's definitely the most authentic thing I could have done in this time.
Mm.
And I think like with like after all these years and doing so many interviews and seeing what people write or like talk about or say to me at shows, I feel like the only thing that will prevail is quality and authenticity.
Yeah.
And like the band you like, I have a good idea which band you spoke about just in
Oh,
that.
there's several
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. But like
It's not
I mean,
even-
yeah, we've got the same thing. Like here, it's like we always, and I don't know why, but like still, like from the get-go, Ultha, people confront me with like, "Oh, you're not a black metal band." It's like, "Oh man, I couldn't care less if you think I'm a black metal musician or not. What does it mean I am black metal, you know?" And it's always the same guys dressed in the uniform, leather jacket, patches. You have bald head or you have long hair, you have like the same typical patches, and then they tell me like, oh, your music's not black metal. And then we talk to them, it's like, hey, my interpretation of black metal was it was a rebellion of freedom against the death metal standards in the 90s. And then they're like, yeah, but whoa. And then it's like, okay, you still don't get the argument, right? Have like, what are the essential true black metal bands to you? Yeah, it's Dark Throne, it's Burzum, it's Emperor, it's Enslaved. It's just like, okay, tell me
Yeah.
one band that did one, like more than two records that sounded the same.
Oh, I mean that's like I mean look just the first band Dark Throne, their first album was a death metal record, and then
Yeah,
like then they made a couple of records that sounded one way. Then they made like heavy metal albums, and they had like these kind of
yeah,
D-beat records, and
yeah,
yeah, and Emperor drastically changed, Enslaved. All those bands are completely
yeah.
different.
Look at Over. Like
Yeah. Oh
Over,
yeah. Yeah.
like, they can do whatever the fuck they want, and still middle metal people will say, yeah, they're true because they've been around. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? But like I stopped really like engaging in these conversations because like for a while I was like, oh man, that's so stupid. It's like, hey, if you like the gazillionth Mayhem clone really gives you a hard on and you hate what we do, I mean, hey, good for you, but like how does it affect your life that Ultha is a band? Because I'm not stealing anything from like the Mayhem clone that you listen to. Um, but like to me, good songwriting, and like quality and aesthetic and like the authenticity of the music is what I feel in music. And I think that's the difference. A lot of people seem to consume music just because it is like, oh yeah, it has corpse paint, it has an upside down cross. I need to listen to it. And I'm like, hey, if that's good for you, fine. But to me, I can listen, like, I think I can listen to an album and say, like, oh, I feel this. Like the Furnask record that I just recently sent you, the new
Yeah.
one.
No, it's great. I
Like
like that band.
they do nothing out of the ordinary. Like it's like super down-tuned, kind of ritualistic black metal, really hypnotic. But like just the way it sounds, the way the songs are written to me is like, yeah, that's like OG shit. And I know that like Johannes, the main guy, is like, yeah, I do this for myself. Like, I don't care if like people say we're not black metal or this or that, or given like, I mean, you spoke to Davey recently,
Yeah.
like he and I are like in touch a whole lot like through WhatsApp, and he's super like anxious. Like now the new record comes out, and he's like, yeah, what if people don't like it? And it's like on this new label, and you got us that deal and everything. I'm like, hey, you know, it will take some time because it's not a black metal album. Because I mean, they just released the Stormkeep album on Vesperian, which is like the guy from Wayfarer and Blood
Yeah.
Incantation, and it's like very easily accessible, like symphonic black metal. And I think you can sell this shit pretty easily. And I mean, it's well done. That's all fine. But like Dry Wedding is a different ball game, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's
And their
it's
new record is outstanding, by the way.
yeah, yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like, I mean, like, I mean, David told the story of like how long this record is in existence. And, like, that's the cool thing about the status that Ultha has. Because I don't know, do you know the story how Davey or like how Dre Wayne got that label deal?
No.
I did a video. I recorded myself with the camera, like, and did an 8-minute monologue about like how much I hate that like a band like Dry Wedding doesn't get a label, because I went out of my way to find a label for them, and I spoke to like bigger like a lot of people know me. And like especially like in the German metal scene, and people are like, "Oh, Ralph from Ultha, he's trustworthy." So like even though we're not like the true black metal band, a lot of like the true people are like, "Hey, Ralph and Ultha, they have my respect." So like also some bigger labels, and I'm not going to name names there, but like they were like, "Hey, I approached them as like usually I don't send like bands over as like, hey, please listen to this. But like I want Dry Wedding to have a proper label because I love that album. I love Davey, and I think they're an outstanding band. And so like a lot of people were like, either it was, yeah, we're not taking on newer bands that we have to make bigger, or it was like smaller labels that say like, yeah, I don't know what to do with them
Yeah.
because it's not metal enough for this, it's not doom enough for that. So I was like, I was getting pissed at some point. I'm like, okay, fuck this shit. Like now I'm using the Ultha channel. So I asked the others, like, is this fine? And they're like, sure, go ahead. So I did this video and I was like, hey, so this is a video to promote a fantastic band, and they have an album that's like on the shelf for a year. It's fantastic. Here's a live video. That's why I like believe in this band, and I really want people to hear this. I posted it, a lot of reactions. People were like, "Oh, this band is amazing." And I posted a video, like a like they had a live video really well done of Moths, which was like
Mhm.
their music
Yeah.
video that just came out.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, like Philip reacted. And Philip was the former head of Century Media. Like he was the guy that was my A&R when Ultha joined Century Media. And then he got promoted to be the boss of Century Media in Europe.
Right.
And 3 years ago, they all moved to Berlin, and he kind of fell out with them. Like he's because Central Media is owned by Sony, and like they're like only doing digital now. They don't really want to do physical media. So Philip said, like, I don't want to do it anymore. Like this is not the way I want to run a label. So he left them and he decided to start his own label, Vesperian. And his idea was I'm doing a vintage, like a boutique label, which is run by me with like through the channels I have, like from my contacts with Central Media. And I'm going to release a lot of albums that I love with bands that I believe in. And so he was like, it's not going to be just a metal label, it's going to be all sorts of stuff. And he saw my video because he knew me and he's like still followed Ultha and he watched like through the whole 8 minute video. So he called me. So the guy that was the boss of Century Media, and it's like, hey, I have a new label coming up. It's not announced yet. I have a schedule, but I love this and I want to release Dry Wedding. I'm like, really? And like this is like, like 10 out of 10 situation because now they are on a label that like operates internationally,
Yeah.
that has like a standing from the get-go because Philip is a well-liked, very reliable, trustworthy guy. And now finally this album will see the light of day on a label where a lot of people can see it. And I think, and that's what I told Davey, is like it won't sell as like hot tickets as maybe Stormkeep, but people eventually will find the quality and see like, oh, this is something special because that's what you found when you listen to them. That's what I find when I
Yeah. No,
listen to them.
absolutely.
And so I'm super, super happy that there's still labels that take risks, and I can't thank Philip enough for like trusting me and doing this.
Yeah, I mean their newest record is like the best thing I've heard by them so far,
Oh
and
man, yeah,
I'm happy that they have a label behind them with resources,
yeah,
and it's got to be tough being trying to operate in that world,
yeah,
of like that kind of more indie like world,
yeah.
because it just seems like people that listen to that type of music, they don't buy t-shirts, they don't really like it just seems like a very odd scene to me.
Yeah. It's like these tween. I mean, look at us. Like I mean, Planks was a bit more straightforward, and we like operated in this realm of like these Almond Ra kind of bands, and like Tombs when it came out, it sounded differently, but then like it fell more into the metal and real black metal thing. But remember Versoma. Versoma was also like one of these tweener bands that you could play with ISIS, you could have played with a death metal band, and it would have worked, but it's not as easy to sell as if you're like, okay, let's put some corpse paint on. Here are my spikes. Here's my my lo-fi Dark Throne ripoff thing, and people would sell like buy like gazillions of tapes. But like to have a band like Dry Wedding that is so well thought through,
Yeah.
but it's not doom enough, it's not metal enough, it's not this enough, but it's perfect the way it is. But like where do you place it? And
I
then
almost feel like Relapse should sign them because like
yeah,
Relapse does like all sorts of they have like bands like Nothing and
True Widow and these kind of bands,
yeah,
like yeah, that's what I said too. And he sent like David did like all the moves, like, and that's like I respect this guy so much, man. He does the grind because he's like you and I are for our bands. He operates the thing, he pushed really hard,
yes,
he has a high work ethic, and it's like he tried so much, and like I always had to like talk to him about like, hey, it's not rejection to the quality of your music. It's just like labels get a million bands that want to be with them. But my first thought was also Relapse should have been the label for them.
yeah. No, I feel that and like, but I, the people that I know there aren't even doing A&R stuff there anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they're part of Sony too. Like they're like a big operation now, you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's
It's
tough.
it's hard. And I mean, that's the thing, like where I mean, you and I, we did the grind, like you did it with Anodyne and Rosoma, and then like the years with Tombs. You as a person established a reputation that people, like when you did Scorpion Throne, I'm pretty certain that you could have said like to a bunch of people like, "Hey, I have a new band. Do you want to put this out?" And people would have said, "Sure." And that's the same that I had with Ultha. Like Stefan of Vendetta, he like, I heard you have a new band. Uh-huh. That was like still in the final days of Planks. And he's like, yeah, so who's in that band? So I told him, it's like, yeah, I'm going to release it. It's like, you haven't heard anything by it. It's like, I don't care. I know it's you.
Yeah.
And it the same happened with Ropes of Night. And the thing is, like, Davey is like has been active in the underground as well, but he was not like maybe not as established as you and I have been with our bands. That's why they have such a struggle. And because it's a band that it's not as easily marketable as maybe Ulthar or Tombs is.
Yeah, that's what at the end of the day with like even with like like a smaller label too, they still need to make their money back too. And they
Yeah.
need to understand how to present music to people like, you know, that they will get the awareness and I know that Dry Wedding is a hardworking band too.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a good move though. I think it's great that they're on like a more resourceful label. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's going to go well. It's
Yeah.
such a special thing, but yeah, people need to find it, and that will take time. And that's like that, but like these are the bands that you and I gravitate to. And I mean, we found them like because Davey contacted us after we spoke about Murder Bait. Same case, it's like a band that can play with almost any band in like the heavier genre, but still like no one wanted to sign them. And it's like, yeah, because money is tight, everything is super expensive, and yeah, it's just like it's a big chance of luck. And so I'm glad I could have like I was able to like help them and that they will come out with this now. And yeah, I always say like if you like Ultha, I think like if you can like dig Ultha but also don't need metal all the time, then Dry Wedding is like exactly the same kind of spot. It's emotional, it's heavy, and yeah, it's definitely Mike and Ralph music.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, no, their new album's great, man. It's just
Yeah.
I want them to come out here so I can see them, here on the
Yeah.
East Coast, and hopefully that's on the horizon for them.
Yeah. But it's also like, I mean, that's the same thing now. Like, like for ages, people are like, hey, you want come here, do this, do that. I'm like, yeah, I would love to, but we don't have a booker because all the bookers that I worked with have been horrible. And so I booked the shit myself and I booked this last tour and it was excruciating, but it was nice because it was people that I had known for years. But like this whole fucking game, you can't be on a label unless you like play this and that, but you can't play this and that unless you have an album. But like you can't release an album because you didn't do the right drugs with the right people or you're not cool enough. And like this elitist thing where you cannot play like certain festivals if you don't have a manager and this and that.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to participate in this, and it's just so fucking hard. And that's why like we've got so many people in the States that like us, and they're like, hey, you should really tour here. It's like, hey man, that's out of the question that we would love to, because I always said like there's Tombs that would take us out, there's Into Armor that would take us out, there's Yellowist that would take us out. We've got friends, we know people that book shows, but we can't get into the fucking country
Oh,
because
dude. I
work
mean,
permit. Oh God.
yeah, and just like honestly, the dollars and cents of touring in this country is it's fucked because like gas is like so expensive. Fuel costs are like,
Yeah.
the West Coast is like $7 a gallon.
Mm.
And it's incredibly difficult to travel around here right now.
Yeah, and I mean, pretty much it's the same thing here, but still we've got like a bit better, and I mean, you know it from like way back. It's like a bit better DIY community. Whereas like if you come over, you at least get a place to stay. You will get like at least a bit of money. You won't like maybe not break even, but at least you're not going to pay a hell of a money on top. But everybody says like, hey, if you want to tour the States, the work permits for Ultha would be like around 8 grand.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, yeah, great. Then I can play shows for a year, but like I'm still a teacher, and I voiced my opinion on social media. So like I'm afraid that I will get busted at the border.
Oh
And
yeah, well that's
you
the other
know,
whole aspect of it too. Is like there's like this fascistic government that we have over here right now. And
yeah.
that's another big problem.
Yeah, so having a band is like such a special thing still, but it gets harder. And I mean, look at how the world is developing. I mean, we spoke about mental health. Like, we've got a chancellor now who's like sucking up to Putin and Trump and all these fellas. And it's like, yeah, mental health is an imagination. Just go work more. The only thing that Germany needs is more labor because if we have more money, we're the stronger country. It's like, yeah, that's actually not the thing. So everything is like moving backwards to 1933, I have a feeling.
Don't mention that date.
Yeah.
1933. Yeah. What's actually interesting too is like in some ways with the Persian adventurism that seems to be going on right now,
Hmm.
people forgot the actual history of that part of the world too. About no one besides Alexander the Great, I guess, and he wasn't even able to hold Persia, has ever successfully had any kind of successful ground operation in that part of the country ever, that part of the
Yeah.
world ever, including the Roman Empire.
The thing is like if there would be a right like a just cause to actually wage war, maybe I would say like yeah, war sucks, but like it has to be done. But like just to, like distract from other shit and like just it's
Yeah,
that's what I always like tell like my American friends. It's like, like I watch John Oliver or I watch Seth Meyers, like the summaries, and they make fun of it. And I'm like, I'm laughing, but it's like I don't have to live in this country. I mean, Germany is like growing in this direction, but like you're all in and you're just like you became a house owner and you have to work, you have a wife and everything. It must be absolutely horrible to like
yeah, it
wake up to
is.
this shit every
Yeah,
fucking day.
no, it's horrible. And but the other thing, the only glimmer of hope is that the midterms are coming up, and I know everyone's going to say, oh well, they're just going to cheat and steal everything, but I kind of feel like even with all the gerrymandering that they're doing, that the overall even amongst like Republicans,
Mm.
his favorability is at an all-time low. So even if they gerrymander these places to like, oh well, the Republicans are the favored just by numbers, I still feel like Republicans are either going to stay home, most likely not even vote actually in the upcoming midterms,
Mm.
and that'll swing Congress more into the left. You know what I mean? And that's like a big hope. And also, I straight up think Trump's going to die like in the next 6 months. To be honest,
Yeah, by the way he looks and
yeah.
operates, yeah,
And
maybe.
that there's no successor to the throne. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
no one's who's going to take over him. JD Vance, everyone hates him. Marco
yeah.
Rubio, everyone hates him too. And it's like there's no like charismatic guy, even though I hate to use that word charismatic with
Mm.
respect to Trump, that can step into his shoes and lead the toothless, uneducated swine that seem to be following him. So,
I mean, Vince McMahon has some time on his hands.
dude,
I'd
it's
have to.
like it really is like the funny thing is like it has turned into that Mike Judge movie to Idiocracy over here,
Yeah.
except that Camacho actually wanted to help the country.
Yeah.
He wasn't just self-serving.
Yeah. It's so surreal. And I mean that's like part of like why I decided to like step back from so many things, like
Yeah.
I mean we spoke about it like social media. no comment sections, no I also like I stopped listening to a whole lot of podcasts and it's
Yeah.
like just like randomly. It's like I really like can see the way I feel in the music that I listen to, which like this year I bought like quite a bunch of vinyl records. I mean, I still work at Underdog and it's mostly like German Gramophone, which is like the classical music company.
Oh, cool.
And like I buy a lot of like there's so many great new composers and like I found like this pianist and she's from Austria but she's like I think she's part Chinese. Alice Sarah Ott is her name and she
Okay.
just interpreted Johann Johansson's score
Oh,
music for the piano. Just
oh, wow.
the saddest songs. This album is amazing. There's so much good shit in that vein. And I don't know, do you know Boards of Canada, that band?
No, no, I'm not familiar with them at all.
Boards of Canada have been around. They're like an electronic music band. I don't even have like a whole lot of intel for them, but they put out like a lot of records, which is like minimal music in a way, a bit of electronic, and I always listen to it because it's so soothing, and I listen to it to grading papers. And out of a blue, they like released a new album this year called Inferno, and it's so fucking amazing. It's probably going to be my album of the year. It has almost no vocals, and it's something you need to listen to with headphones. It's like
Hmm.
electronic music, and but not techno or something. It's like very. It could be like a bit of like a Tron soundtrack, but also
Hmm.
like like a gloomy like independent movie. So like I listen to a lot of that stuff. I listen to a lot of
Send me some links. Definitely.
yeah, I will definitely. And so yeah, I've been like watching a lot of movies and shows like you said, like it reflects in my music, but it's like mostly like the music I listen to is mostly music without any singing or words. It's just like I just need background music.
Oddly, I went back in time to. Do you remember that band Beast Milk?
Sure, absolutely, yeah.
I didn't like them the first time around,
Mm.
but lately I've been obsessed with that album Climax that came out back, I don't know, like over 15 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's like it's very good. Like I'm not a big fan of his voice, and that's like kind of like these voices, like with Morrissey, it's like either you like it or you don't like it.
Yeah.
And I mean, he sings in like now the band is called Grave Pleasures. He's also in Hex Vessel, and I just like, but the Beast Mode record is just it's very good. And like the main songwriter was the guy from Orenzi Pazuzu, who also plays guitar in that band.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah, he's in that band, and he wrote like a lot of the
Oh,
songs.
wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
There's also the same, I think it's the same guys that do a band called Scorpion Milk too.
Yeah, that's a new project that he's
Yeah.
involved with.
That's
Yeah,
actually really good. It's
yeah.
like more like there's like a Killing Joke sort of feel to some of the
Okay.
songs. Yeah, really good.
Um, hey man, like I guess we're like about to like call it quits here.
Yeah.
I need to ask two things.
Okay, what?
I
Tell me.
I need I need your opinion.
All right.
I haven't listened to a whole lot of Necromaniac, so I'm not like sure if you have seen it, but Widow's Bay.
Oh yeah, dude. Outstanding.
Okay,
Yeah, it's great.
everybody loves it. I
You
fucking
don't
hate
like it?
it.
You hate it?
I
Oh,
I
okay.
hate
All right.
yeah,
That's
it
cool.
was like Davey and I was like, I'm like, I don't get it. Like I mean I also don't like humor and horror combined. And like I'm like, yeah, okay. I I assume like everybody likes it. Like maybe I need to rewatch it and maybe like I'll
Well,
have a
if
different
you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. It's just
yeah.
not everyone has the same tastes. But I also am surprised that I like it because I don't like humor at all in horror.
Yeah. It's like to me, it's like the slapstick elements is like, hey, do you want to be David Lynch? Uh-huh. But it doesn't work. And they're like, I don't know. It's just like I only loved like I liked that one episode where the secretary hallucinates and
Oh
then
yeah.
like has the bonfire at the beach.
Yep.
But like when that like stalker, like Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers character, I mean, I know it's like referential to this, but I'm like, I don't know. Like I watch From and I always watch like breakdown videos and like that kind of still is fun, even though it's completely weird. I don't know. Widow's Bay didn't do anything for me.
I think that you should finish it if you want, because at the end it gets there's some more interesting stuff that happens in the last three episodes.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you
I
did. Okay.
Yeah, it still didn't click for me.
Okay. All right.
But
Fair
like on
enough.
the other hand, and that would be the other question, I was really curious. Cape Fear.
I think that's not my cup of tea at all. I don't like it.
Okay, see, I like that. Like, even though,
Yeah.
like, I think the Scorsese De Niro version is like top three of all time for me, mu movie wise. I think they did a really interesting job. And I mean, like, Scorsese is involved, and the score is the same. And
Mm,
I mean, it's Max Cady by Javier Bardem is cool. It's not as
mm.
creepy as the De Niro version, but I so far I back that show.
It's completely unnecessary. They should have written a completely different story. It's different. Like it's not even the same movie or the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
story. So why call it Cape Fear unless you're trying to cash in on it?
Yeah, yeah. I
You
mean,
know?
yeah, that's what I felt too. And I was like, but it's the same thing. Like I don't know, like I shouldn't, like I think I should hate it because I love De Niro so much in Cape Fear. But then I started watching and I'm like, I actually like the appeal of it. And it's like, okay, I get like they need to make a shot of it. And like I saw 3 episodes and I didn't hate it so far.
Hmm.
But like it's sometimes weird. I like Suspiria, like that Amazon remake from some years back. I really
Right.
love that movie, and a lot of people hate that one
I like
too.
that movie
But
too, actually. I
yeah,
thought it was good. I'm not saying it was bad. I personally didn't like it. That's just my
yeah, yeah,
opinion. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like to me, I know that even the Scorsese version is a remake,
yeah,
but to me, De Niro is always going to be Max Cady and just
yeah,
his whole approach to that character, and when he's that scene at the school where she asks him where he's from and he's like, I'm from the Black Forest. I'm like, fuck, dude.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
totally that whole scene apparently was improv.
yeah.
And I just like,
Yeah.
yeah, so good. And he was terrifying as Max Cady.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like for me, like that's the fascination with him. And like Bardem is like such a great actor, and I think he's not as creepy. And I mean, I think the story is also written in a way that it is like you kind of feel a bit of sympathy for him,
Right.
and that's like a lot of criticism the show gets. But like so far, I'm just like like I'm in the phase where I'm like. Everybody I know hates the last three Star Wars movies, and I was like, "Yeah, it's garbage. It's Disney and this and that." I'm like, I can watch it and I feel entertained, you know? Like
Sure.
I'm not like like with Widow's Bay, it's something like tapped me the wrong way where I'm really like I fucking hate this. This is terrible.
Yeah.
But like I feel like maybe I'm old and senile now, like
Senile.
yeah, but like yeah, I wanted to have your opinion on those two
Yeah, I
shows.
mean, it's, like I don't think Cape Fear is bad. I just don't like it for my personal taste. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
sure,
Um,
sure.
there's a lot of other cool stuff that came out this year. There's the overtone, the undertone rather, which
Oh
is
man. Yeah,
excellent.
yeah, I saw that you did an episode on that, and then Brandon reached out to me. Shout outs to Brandon. And he's like, "Yeah, man, how about like how are you doing? Like how about Widow's Bay? And have you seen the undertone?" I'm like, "Yeah, Widow's Bay doesn't do much, but then I found a download link for Undertone. Watched it 3 times by now, I think.
Mhm. Yeah,
Absolutely amazing."
and yeah, Hokum is good. And then
Yeah.
also I was shocked at how much I enjoyed Backrooms.
That's like it's starting this week here
Yeah.
because yeah, so far it's only like like still the old problem that like you can't stream or get anything here. It's finally coming to cinemas because horror, like also in Europe, horror has a bit of a revival right now. So like I'm going to see this in cinema in the theater. I
Good.
also haven't seen Obsession,
Mm,
which people say it's worthwhile. But Hokum I saw and I liked not as much as Oddity, but
yeah.
still good. Yeah, Backrooms. I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah, dude. I'm just shocked that I liked it so much, and I did. And it's very much a weird fiction story,
Cool.
and it's there's one moment in there. There's a one piece of dialogue in that film that I'm just like, oh, this is like some completely pessimistic, you know, philosophy. And
Oh, like so
yeah,
Ligotti style.
yeah, dude, so good. And
Yeah.
they tell you like just enough so you kind of think you know what's going on, and it's like, but they don't spoon feed you the story, which I dig.
Yeah, that's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than it's like, here is the story and here's the solution. It's like leave people in the guessing. Yeah. Cool. Like
Yeah.
I will report once I've saw it
Yeah, let
once
me
I've
know,
saw it.
man. I'm
Yeah.
interested to hear and send me those links. I want to check out this music that you're talking about.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I have like a bunch of cool shit. I was just like, yeah, maybe you're like packing bags already and
Oh,
everything
I
in
am
boxes.
though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I'll send stuff over, especially like that Boards of Canada record. It's
Yeah.
like
That sounds
it's
cool.
I mean, especially like I guess like if you're working at computer and like and have like headphones on, it's like it's going to be a fun experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I work in this room all day, man. So it's like I need some kind of entertainment while I'm down here. So
Mike Hill's coal mine.
yeah, here in the salt mines. Yeah. Well, it was great catching up, Ralph, and
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear
pleasure.
that you're taking measures to do better with your mental health and physically and all that. I'm just glad to hear all that.
Yeah, man. It's always good catching up and yeah, let's not have it like be another, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, but
Yeah, but I knew you needed to take some time, man.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm always here. You're always there. Like I know you're always we're always here for each other. So.
yeah. But I think like people also out there, I think it's time for another Mount Rushmore episode.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
should
so,
make some plans, dude.
all
Totally.
right. We'll do that. You have a great Sunday, man, and
All right,
say hi to Tina for me.
will do, man. Thanks a lot. Take care.